Cho threatened my boat dock. My son's a naval architect who designed the Marina. The older I get, the more I realize peace is a magnet for the petty. I'm Randall Randy Marks, 61 widowed, semi-retired contractor, and lifelong boat enthusiast. 2 years ago, I moved to Lake Meriden, a quiet stretch of shoreline in northern Georgia where the air smells like pine and the water shimmers like glass. I bought a fixer-upper cabin with dock access. Nothing fancy. I just wanted a place to fish, fix, and maybe, just maybe teach my grandkids how to steer a John boat without panicking every time a duck quacked. The dock came with the property. It was sound but weathered. So I rebuilt it with help from my son Lucas, a naval architect. Not just any naval architect. He helped design the Meriden Public Marina's entire floating dock system. Every slat, cable, anchor, Lucas had his hands on it. So imagine my surprise when a woman named Margot Jennings Karen, through and through, tried to tear it down. The first incident was a letter. Dear resident, your dock is non-compliant with the Lake Meriden Community Aquatic Standards. Failure to remove unauthorized structures within 14 days will result in enforcement action. I read it twice. There was no HOA in this lake stretch, not one with legal enforcement power. I checked during closing. In fact, the original developer dropped all HOA covenants back in 2017 due to mismanagement. But this woman had created a new Lake Meriden Waterway Committee, entirely self-appointed. And I'd soon learn she wasn't just sending letters. A week later, she showed up in person. She wore a navy blazer, white sneakers, and a laminated badge clipped to her hip that read, HOA Compliance Director Water. She didn't knock. She marched down the path to my dock like she was raiding a meth lab. I'm issuing a dock strike, she said, clipboard in hand. A what now, I replied. You've got 2 violations, unregistered slip alignment, and extended reach beyond setback. I tried not to laugh. Lady, the county approved this dock. The Corps of Engineers signed off, and my son literally designed the new marina plan. She scoffed. Well, your son got it wrong. At that moment, Lucas stepped out from the house behind me. He was home on leave from a naval infrastructure project in Charleston, 6'1", calm as still water, and not a fan of people disrespecting his work. I'd love to hear how I got it wrong, he said. She blinked. And you are the guy who wrote the subsurface alignment spec for this entire lake. She backed off. For that day, but not for long, a week later, I woke up to the sound of splintering wood, ran down to the dock barefoot. She was ripping up planks. I kid you not, she'd hired 2 men from a landscaping crew to dismantle non-compliant marine platforms. They'd already pulled off a corner section and were working on the ropes. I shouted. Lucas came sprinting behind me. The workers dropped their tools the second he showed his credentials. Karen stood tall, hand on her hip. You can't stop this. I'm protecting the lake from illegal expansion. This isn't expansion, Lucas said. It's a restoration, permitted under State Code 4.3.1. You're committing vandalism. I'm enforcing HOA rules. There is no HOA, I called the sheriff. Deputy Russell knew us. More importantly, he knew her. I've warned you before. Miss Jennings, he said, pulling her aside. You can't enforce laws that don't exist. She tried to argue, pulling out her binder of fake citations. He confiscated it. But the damage was done, 2 planks broken, a mooring cleat torn off, ropes in the water. Lucas and I spent 3 hours patching what she'd done. He was quiet the whole time. Then he said, she doesn't care about the dock. She wants power. That night, Lucas got to work. He compiled every permit, every signed approval, every email. He mapped the dock layout, the sonar data, the lake floor profile down to the centimeter. Then he went public. He posted it all with photos, signatures, time-stamped drone footage on the Meriden Community Facebook group. With this headline, my name is Lucas Marks. I'm a naval architect. The dock my father built is 100% legal. The only violation is this woman's abuse of power. People erupted. Turns out, Margot had been targeting others too. She fined a family $300 for kayak clutter. Told a retired couple their paddle boat was unauthorized equipment. Threatened to tow a man's fishing skiff from his own dock. They'd all been scared. Paid up. Until Lucas pulled the curtain back. Screenshots flooded in. Email. Fake documents. Even one neighbor who confessed that Margot threatened to report his undocumented cousins if he didn't donate to the committee. By Monday, Channel 12. News was on our lawn. When Margot saw the news van, she tried to pivot. Held a town hall at the Lakeside Pavilion. Invited officials. No one showed up, except Lucas. He brought a poster board of lake permits, blew up a screenshot of her fake waterway policy guide, and pointed to the signature line where she forged a city planner's name. That city planner, a friend of Lucas. On Zoom. Testifying live. The crowd turned on her. A man stood up and said, "You made my wife cry over a canoe." Someone else shouted, "Give us our money back." She fled, literally ran. Reporters followed. 3 days later, she received a cease and desist from the county. The Waterway Committee was declared fraudulent. Her fake fines refunded via civil order. Her compliance patrol email account suspended, and the dock stronger than ever. 2 weekends later, we held a neighborhood fish fry. Every family that Margot ever targeted was there. Lucas grilled snapper. A kid took his first dive off the dock. An older woman hugged me and whispered, "Your son gave us back our courage." And you know what? So did the water. Call to action. Have you ever had to stand up against someone weaponizing fake authority? Have you watched community peace get twisted into control? Share your story. Call it out. Because power without accountability is just a bully with a clipboard. Let's build communities, not kingdoms.